Today we've got the 2023 Nissan Z. Good looking car in red. Hot Wheels done a really good job on this mainline car. Much better than they normally do. And we'll get into that in a few moments. Let's read what they say on fandom about this car. It's debuted in the Factory Fresh series. It's been produced from 2022 until present. The designer is Lindsay Lee, and the original SKU was HCT13. This particular version, the SKU is going to be HKK64. The description on fandom says, the Nissan Z Proto, that's the original name, is the concept version of the 2023 Nissan Z, a sports car designed by Nissan and intended for production starting 2022. It is the successor of the 370Z, which have been in production for 11 years. The car, however, retains the same internal designation of Z34. The car is colloquially named the 400Z, but is officially not numerically named. As with all Z cars, the car is named the Fairlady Z in Japan. Okay, let's take a look at the right side of the car, starting at the left there and moving towards the right. First of all, you see the taillights, done well. See the bumper, you got the diffuser at the rear in black, in the same black plastic as the base color of the car. Then you've got 5-spoke wheels in gray. Above the 5-spoke wheels, you've got the ornament, the Z ornament that usually appears, I think that would be considered the C pillar, perhaps the B pillar. Then you come on down and you got the little quarter window. The windows are in a light gray tint. You got the B pillar, then below the B pillar on the bodywork, you have to look extremely closely, and I'm not even sure I can zoom in on it for you, but there is a little tiny divot for a door handle there, much like the real car. Coming on down the window, you see that there are side mirrors on this car. Very nicely done. The windows are rolled up on this car, passenger and driver. There is, in the black base, a little bit of running board there on the side of the car underneath the door. Interesting, they didn't extend it the entire way. Coming on up, there's no tampo on the side of this car, other than when you eventually do get to the headlights, you see the headlights are present, which is good, with some tampo on them. Once again, front wheels done in the gray, and they are the same size as the rear wheels. All right, let's move on to the 2 o'clock position. The 2 o'clock position doesn't really reveal much more than the side position there, other than it's very obvious there's a chip in the paint. Brand new from factory. I just pulled this out of the pack. There's a chip in the paint underneath the doorway there, and you can see a little bit of a glare up there by the door mirror. There's actually kind of a scratch or a chip in the paint there. Did someone at the factory drop it on the floor, perhaps, or did it get caught in a piece of machinery and cause the paint to chip and scratch there? I don't know, but this car's not perfect by any means. The front view of the car reveals a lot of stuff as well. You can see the Nissan logo there in the center of the hood. You got the headlights that are modeled. You can see the door mirrors really well. You can see there's actually windshield wipers modeled on this particular car. You can see the grille up front, and you can see the front splitter. It's a nice design. It looks great. The 10 o'clock position reveals that the car has a tan interior. Very interesting. You can see that through that gray window. Left side of the car reveals basically exactly the same tempo, same artwork as the right side of the car, which is virtually nothing. There is one thing I forgot to mention though. The Z ornament, which is on the C pillar, is not painted in any way. It's just a bump on the car. It'd been really nice if Hot Wheels had just put maybe a little tempo there, a Z there, much like the car actually has. One other thing that the left side has that the right side doesn't have, it has a little bit more definition to the door handle. Both sides are really, really bad. They need a better definition on the door handle to make this a great, great car. The 8 o'clock position reveals something I was not expecting about this car. It actually has tampo on both ends of the car. As you can see, the rear end has some tampo. Very unusual for a mainline car. Now let's talk about that rear of the car tampo. First of all, back window looks good. Got a couple of little ridges on it, much like the real car has. Then we've got the light bar in the back. Tail lights are great on this car. Hot Wheels really knocked it out of the park. They got red brake lights. They've got turn signals. I believe those probably are turn signals in orange. They got the Nissan ornament logo back there on the black. They've got the spot for the license plate. They've got a couple of exhausts. They've got the diffuser in black. Car looks great on the rear end. They really knocked it out of the park. 4 o'clock position is basically the same view as the 8 o'clock position, just on the other side of the car. Take your pick as to which one you prefer. Top-down position really shows the smooth lines of this car. This car's really smooth. The windshield wipers show up really well, and then the ridges I mentioned in the back window show up really well as the headlights and the ornament on the front of the car. Car looks good. If there's one position where Hot Wheels really messed up the car, it's the base of the car. They basically did nothing with the base other than put a little bit of the diffuser on there, and that's it. Got the standard 2023 Nissan Z made in Malaysia. Got the date code on there, copyright, and the SKU. Other than that, this car, nothing. And there you have it, folks. It's a strong car, a very strong car. For a mainline car, very, very strong. Of course, it doesn't have real riders or anything along those lines. It's not all metal. It's got a plastic base, but it's got a lot of detail to the car. It's got appropriate tempo. We're talking headlights and tail lights. Now, it might not have any numbers on the side or any sponsors like Bilstein on the side, but it's accurate to the car. It has at least a place for the Z on the C-pillow. It has a tiny little cutout that you can barely see for the door handles. Everything is pretty much there. It's just, it could have been implemented a little bit better. It's a 8 out of 10 car. It's worth having in your collection. It's not anything to be super excited about, but definitely a decent car. If you like the Nissan Z lineup, if you like Hot Wheels, definitely get this car. Hope you enjoyed the review. Have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.